like that, unfortunately, in today's society in 2026, with the way feminism is and everything else like that. So what I tell guys is, when it comes to the way the new normal is, you must adapt to the new normal. And I think guys need to be experienced with women where they're in a position where they're not necessarily being controlled via sex. Because that is a female strategy where they are going to, oh, you want some pussy, you need to take the trash out. Oh, you want to do this, you need to do that. You can't be in a situation where your woman is leveraging sex against you for compliance, which is how a lot of modern women do it. And a lot of guys will put themselves in compromising situations. So I don't want guys to be put in compromising situations for sexual access. Rather, I want them to be experienced with women. So the girl is, chasing their validation versus the other way around. So you need to be able to understand women. And unfortunately, with that, you have to have premarital sex to a degree. I know this is very not, holy. I know this is like very.
Why? What's the ultimate goal?
To have family.
So having a lot of premarital sex and fornicating is the ultimate goal is to have a family through that?
Well, so yes, your goal should be to have a family, but you also don't want to start a family with a woman that's a harlot that's going to ruin your life and make it bad for your children, where she's going to cheat on you.
So you should be a man whore, and that somehow is going to make you a man. I'm not following. So
yeah, so okay. The female sexual strategy when she meets a guy is to sell purity. I'm a good girl, commit to me, give me your resources. If a guy isn't experienced enough, he won't be able to tell if she's telling the truth or not. The only way that you're going to be able to tell that as a man nowadays is you need to be able to date women and identify certain characteristics, traits, and behaviors that are not conducive to a long-term relationship. Because unfortunately, since so many women grow up in fatherless households, a lot of women grow up with a very toxic mindset of masculinity. A lot of women grow up with this feminist ideology where they don't respect masculine authority and the things that, like you mentioned, like how your wife, right? She was preserved and protected by her
father and brothers. Yeah.
Most women don't have that. So since most women don't have that, you kind of had a pre-assembled woman. Most men do not have that. So what they have to do is they almost have to assemble the woman on their own, and they do that through vetting her, figuring out what she is, and then going off of that. And I know this, some women might get mad at me for saying this, but this is the reality of dating as a man, because if you get married to a woman, you have far more to lose a lot of times than the woman has to lose. So that's why I tell guys, you need to be aware of this stuff, and you only get that through being around women.
I just have a caveat to what you just said.
Sure.
I will say here's a better strategy for men. There's plenty of really good, godly girls who are protected by their fathers and their brothers, but you're not going to find them in the strip club. You're not going to find them in the bars. You need to go to conservative, reformed Christian churches or holiness Pentecostal churches or independent Baptist churches where they're raised with that society and that culture. Where not only are they shamed by their family if they go out and become sluts, they're shamed by their entire community, their church, family, everybody. So they are socially engineered already from childhood, from birth, to maintain chastity, to maintain virtue, that your duty is to be a wife and a mother in the home and to serve your husband. And that's what I got with my wife. So, guys.
No, I know. And that's fantastic that you were able to find a girl that had these social training wheels in place where she came to you ready as a wife and she was prepared. What I'm saying is that that's just not a viable option for most guys.
I just don't think most guys.
It's not realistic.
With all due respect, I don't think most guys are looking in the right place. You're not going to find them on the beaches. You're not going to find them in the bars. You're not going to find them in a conservative church. I don't think the majority of the guys out here are going church shopping. You'll find.
Now, I'll be honest about this. I'm sure there's plenty of guys here that, women will be hoes on Saturdays and go to church on Sunday, right? Even if you go to the church and you use these screening tactics that you're mentioning, which I agree with you. I think they're fantastic ways to kind of screen women. You're still going to have to be put through your paces and be able to identify a girl that's faking it until she makes it.
If you go to a non-denominational church and the girls dress like hoes during service, you're probably in the wrong church, because if they dress like hoes, chances are they're hoes. What I'm advocating for is that you go to a church with conservative values and morals. Go find the women there where those values and morals are maintained, because there's peer pressure from society.
Sure, that's one option. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people are not religious. A lot of people are not Christian. A lot of people might not. They might be Muslim. They might be more secular or whatever. I'm giving more advice that's pragmatic based on where we are and how things are now. If they're Christian and they adopt your worldview, a Christian worldview, that's a fantastic way to go about it. But I'm giving a more how do I say this? A bigger and larger overview for more men that they can adopt that might not necessarily be Christian based. If you have a Christian base, yeah, that's a great way to go about it. I still based on where we are and how things are now. If they're Christian and they, adopt your worldview, a Christian worldview, that's a fantastic way to go about it. But I'm giving a more, how do I say this? A bigger and larger overview for more men that they can adopt. That might not necessarily be Christian based, but if you're a Christian based, yeah, that's a great way to go about it. I still, tell guys like, hey, still exercise discretion because a woman can go to church and still be a 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But that is one way to mitigate some of the risk.
Well, I think large society at large, yeah, this corrupt, it's immoral, and this is you're paid to be so. The algorithms on social media promote promiscuity. We see all these things. It's standardized in our culture. Yet the reality is, there's another culture that's part of American heritage culture, and that's Christianity. Okay, that's part of the fabric of our society. And if you're going to miss out, you're going to miss out. Sure. My recommendation to all men here is find Christ, become a Christian, get yourself in a conservative church. You probably won't find them out in California. At least there'll be very few. So get the heck out of California. Find a religious community, get involved, get married young, have more children than you can afford. That was the best advice Charlie ever gave to me. Last question real quick.
Sure.
What do you think Charlie Kirk would say about Chud the Builder and his predicament today if he were alive? Just speculating.
I don't know. I think he would champion his ability to free speech. But I don't know. I don't want to speak for someone that's deceased. Rest in peace to him. Me and Charlie might have disagreed on it and everything else, but obviously, the people that are sharing his death and everything else like that, like fuck them. Rest in peace to Charlie. But yeah. So I wouldn't know.
Agreed. Now, I'm as well, anti-Zionist. God bless you. Thank you for giving me the time.
I appreciate you. I appreciate that we have someone here that's a witness that actually watched the footage from there, because I think a lot of people don't know the facts of the case. And it's good that we have someone here that actually watched Josh Fox walk up to this guy and and hit him and punch him first, and they go to the ground and everything else like that. But thank you for that.
Thank you so much. And guys, if you don't want your children to end up being thoughts, hoes, sluts, don't send them to public school. Homeschool them. Get them out of the society and the culture that's perverting your children. God bless you guys. God bless America.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir.
Go on now, get ready. Coat your fists in grease, and then roll them in glass.
No offense, but I prefer not to follow the lead of a death row convict. I like to eat my way. Beautiful weekend nature.
You've had something spectacular, not. No wonder you're disappointed so far, but you.
It was always well. It was always me, the Grandmaster picked on. But after this, he's gonna give me some rest. Yes. I'm getting my ass kicked here, but for some reason I'm not bothered tonight. It's almost like I wanted this to happen. Oh man, feels great. What is it? You waiting for me? Is that it?
It could be I was wrong. Perhaps you're more of a warrior than I thought.
You ready?
Are you, little man?
I'm about to own your ass. Never would have thought you were such a nice guy. You had gone for my throat instead of my face. Would have been Connor, wouldn't I? I had nothing. There was nothing I ever won praise for. Even so, I always knew it was worthy praise. My pride. My master says karate should be practiced with empty hands. To all Roach, karate is a way of life. For me. What's wrong? It's for me, foot. It's not good. Chance. Yeah. Damn it. You trying to fake me out? Is that what this is? Pretty pathetic. Private scum! Unbelievable. Giant freaking nature like this guy. And I've got the other hand. Dude, I've got it no doubt. Listen to him. He's begging for mercy. My God. He disappeared.
Just as I thought.
Your eyes. What? Ouch.
That was hypnosis.
Hypnosis, a technique by which a person can be put into an altered state of consciousness, one in which he can be easily manipulated. Hato Kiyosumi's heart was filled with a desire to win, and it was this overpowering thirst for victory that made him vulnerable to being hypnotized. Thus, he created in his mind an enemy he could handle, one much weaker than in reality. He imagined himself victorious, nailing his enemy in the crotch, gouging him in the eyes, and generally beating the crap out of him.
However, it was all just a fleeting illusion created by your brain. Sadly for you, the real me is right here, and you still have no chance of defeating me. You never did.
Well, at least it was a nice dream. It was fun while it lasted. Thanks a lot. That trick again, huh? Master, forgive me.
Shockwave is sent to High headquarters. Skull fracture, brain contusion, broken nose, loss of teeth numbers 4 to 7, also teeth numbers 1 and 2, cervical spine injury, incomplete fracture of the left clavicle, right humerus, incomplete fracture, right. Scaphoid fracture and multiple fractures of the metacarpals. Incomplete fracture of the left and right forearms. Left metacarpals and middle phalanx also with incomplete fractures. Additional fracture of the proximal phalanx. Right fourth and fifth ribs, compound fractures. Left seventh rib, complete fracture. Left femur and patella. That's not even a full list of his injuries.
I think you get the point. The man was smashed to pieces, ripped apart. Right now, Hiyosumi Kato lies unconscious in an ICU in critical condition, fighting for his very life. So, what should we be doing then? Sitting by his hospital bed praying for his recovery? This is not an educational institution or religious organization. We are not priests. We're not here to pray. We're here to fight. This is a martial arts organization. This photo will be sent to our 600 branches across the country. He cannot hide from 1 million members of Shinshinkai. We will never show our backs to the enemy. He will be found, and Kato-senpai will be avenged! I hope everything was to your liking.
Yes, very satisfying.
I can't tell you how pleased I am that you enjoyed your meal, Mr. Dorian.
How do you know my name?
Kiyosumi Kato was once my junior. I remember I worked him hard back in the day. Now do you understand? You see, sir, you've made quite a few enemies for yourself. At least 1 million